Good morning. It's Tuesday, September the 16th, before school, and let me put you down so that I don't do something I'm gonna regret. I am in my classroom, obviously, and what I thought I was about to do until I got smarter was I thought I was going to like preset the whiteboards. So these are the whiteboards that I'm going to be using for building thinking classrooms. And I thought I was going to preset them around the room so that I could show students or establish where I want the boards to be on a daily basis. And then I realized I can't really do that because some of the spots like obstruct where I need them to get, like their cubbies when they come in and unpack. So I put those back. But what I think I am going to do is I'm going to number them. And so one thing I just realized right now is that the kids will probably set them in place. Today we'll probably establish where I want the boards to be, so that none of that is a question when the time comes. And then we'll put them away. So today's gonna be the first day that we use them, and I'm gonna kind of see how it works, and fingers crossed that it works the way my mind thinks it's going to work. But yeah, I'm just really here to say good morning. I'm looking for my other set of magnetic numbers, and I'm not seeing them. Hold on. Where did I put those? That is cardstock. I really feel like they're in here. Here they are. So I bought 2 packs of these. These are from Amazon. So I'm gonna go ahead and number them right now and get that set up. But I really am just here to say good morning. I didn't vlog yesterday because yesterday was a minimum day, meaning that we get out of school at 1 instead of 2:45. Those days always fly by really fast, and we had a district-wide disaster drill which took a chunk of the day. So yesterday just felt very rushed. And I had to take Luna to the bed after school, and I was entering grades after school, so I just didn't have a chance to pick up the camera. So I'm just here to start it off, say good morning. And I'll check in with you later because I need to get these boards numbered. Good morning. It's Friday, September the 19th, and this week's vlog is really going to be a one-dayer. I did take some footage. I don't know what day that was. It was probably Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure if I'll include it because it wasn't really very long. I think I literally just got on to say good morning. And I was getting my boards that I got from the Donors Choose project. It was going to be the first day that we were going to use the actual physical standing boards, and I was having to figure out where I was going to put them. So I said good morning, and then I was supposed to check in later, and then that never happened. So this week has just been one of those weeks where what is going on in the world, or really I should say the world, but more specifically the country, what is going on in my personal life. Not that it's bad, it's just like mentally consuming. And what is going on in the classroom, it's just all too much to be dealing with at the same time. I'm in good health. The firefighter and I are fine, but it is a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, it is a challenge dating someone that is new in being a fire captain in California, not just California, but Los Angeles, the first fire season after all the fires in the Pacific Palisades and the Eaton fire and all of that, and the demands on his schedule that takes. So that's just been frustrating. And so I just am like, you know what, this week you might just need to quiet down, simmer down, focus on yourself. So that's really what I have been doing. I really thought that I had solved the problem of this phone holder in the car, but I don't think that I have. So again, if the video work isn't great, blame it on the holder. I got to figure something out. So as far as the week has been, to be honest, this week we had to really kind of lay down the law a little bit harder in the classroom. My class is pretty good. Don't really have any complaints. I have several big personalities in that classroom, but not in a bad way, just like big personalities. Big personalities take a lot of energy. But just really had to be a little bit more stringent with things like bathroom trips, and really put a system in place where now they have to track how many times they go in the bathroom, and really force them to use their break times to use the bathroom, so that I don't have at least 50% of the class trying to go to the bathroom during class, which is very disruptive. So stuff like that. Still struggling with understanding the concept of what is completed homework versus what is not completed homework. Attentive listening. You know, when you call on someone and they literally have no idea what is being talked about or what's going on. So we had a little brief come to Jesus moment where we discussed, and I asked them what were some things that they felt like as a collective they needed to work on, and it was those things: paying attention more, using time productively. Somebody said maturity. I said yes, some of us need to work on maturity. I have these big personalities that kind of struggle with understanding like the time and the place to joke around, make jokes. I'm like, there are gonna be times where we are joking around as a class. That would be the time and the place. But if I'm like teaching, or your classmates talking, and we're clearly in an academic conversation, cracking a little joke, no matter how cute and humorous you think it is not appropriate at that time or that place. So I've gotten more stringent. So now with bathroom, they get 2 bathroom passes a week. They can go to the bathroom twice during the week for free. Anytime they go after that, they can still go. They just have to pull a citizenship concern slip for using their time productively. And that's really because they have time in the morning. There's walk and talk before school starts. We have lunch at around 11. They have another recess an hour and a half after that. So they should be able to kind of manage their bathroom trips around that. Obviously, as always, I tell them, if you have a medical condition, then your parent needs to contact me. And then those rules don't apply. So that, we did math review a couple days ago. That came to a halt. So we did Sage and Scribe, or at least we started. And they know the rules. This was the second time we did it. And I even had a moment where I paused and refreshed our memory mid-Sage and Scribing as to what I shouldn't see. And then soon after that, I saw something I didn't want to see, which was, instead of students working together to solve a problem together, one student was just copying another. And then so I said, okay, we're done with Sage and Scribe for the day. And now you all have to do your review test on your own quietly, which is, I said, to me, less engaging and less helpful, because now you can't really bounce ideas off a classmate. So that was Wednesday. Wednesday was not the greatest day for us because stuff was going on. That's when I decided we need to tighten up. I just kind of was tired and in a mood. It just wasn't our best day. Yesterday was good because I was able to get caught up on some things in terms of pacing with language arts. So that was nice. We're still behind where I want to be with language arts. We're doing really well with math and social studies and science, but we need to make up some room in language arts. So today they have a math test. Today we're going to do some Wonder small group and hopefully like a very brief writing situation. So I'm really just here to say good morning. I'm going to get my iced coffee. I allowed myself to have a hash brown as well because it's Friday. And also this week has been frustrating because I've worked out once. And I went to bed on time last night to wake up at 4:30 to work out this morning, and the alarm did go off at 4:30, and I just said, no, let's just revisit next week. So I am disappointed in myself, but I'm really just trying to get comfortable with being a little bit more flexible with stuff like that. Because honestly, me killing my body and working out like without fail, it's great, but it's not like I'm ripped or anything, so I figured today would be okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I will talk to you when I get back into the classroom. It'll probably be later today. But good morning. Happy Friday. It's 4:24. School's been out for almost 2 hours. And today didn't really go exactly the way I thought it would. Not necessarily in a bad way, just, you know, unexpected. So I believe I said earlier this morning we had a math test, and that we had, and I just really was not expecting that math test to take almost essentially the entire day, to the point where there was not enough time for us to do much afterwards. So we are doing chapter 10 in Go Math. Not sure if I've mentioned that, but it's all about customary and metric unit conversions, which, I mean, once you know how you're converting, if you're converting larger to smaller or smaller to larger, it's not really involving a ton of math. But what some of the problems and some of the lessons require is multi-steps, and some of us just don't have the stamina to do that. So because you don't have the stamina, or you don't have the discipline, or you just don't want to do it, you have students that would just like sit and like look at the same problem for a long time. And so it just took really long, and I mean, at all levels. Students that typically do really well and math comes naturally to them, it seems, also took longer than what they normally would. And so there was a lot of downtime in here, a lot of quiet time, a lot of independent work on our own, which in the grand scheme of things, I'm not complaining about. Perhaps that was God's way. I have to turn the air on, because as I was heading in this morning, I was, overwhelmed with what I knew kind of needed to get situated and or accomplished by the end of the day. So we have parent conferences that start next week, starting Monday. So every day for us next week will be a minimum day to create more time for us to have these conferences. And I didn't really feel prepared. Like, I wasn't 100% sure of what I wanted to give to parents. And I hadn't printed out my progress reports, and to be quite honest, I couldn't even remember how do you print out the progress reports, because the progress reports at the elementary level in our district are very different from the progress reports at the middle school level. And I hadn't printed out elementary progress reports in 6 years. And then also in elementary, if they have a C- or lower in any one category, you give them an additional report that is called a notice of unsatisfactory progress, and you have to pull those from another location, and those typically require comments. And I was like, I haven't even figured out where those are at or made comments. So while the kids were taking their math test, I was really just kind of working on that, and I was able to get the notice of unsatisfactory progress reports printed with comments, finalize everything in the progress reports, get those printed. So that's good, because what I thought was going to happen, and what was kind of, making me not so excited, was I was going to be here later than what I wanted to getting that done, because I'm going out of town just for like 24 hours tomorrow for my aunt's wedding in Vegas. So it's like I needed to get it done, and I can't, these are things I can't really do at home, because I need to print all that out, make copies of everything. So I'm glad I got that done. So I guess in some ways, the battery's gonna die. It's good that it took them that long, but that just meant there were other things that we did not get to. So let me change this battery right now, hold on. All right, so that really is how the day went. This was one of the Fridays where I don't have any real interruptions at the end of the day. Like, I don't have, and not interruptions, like, I guess breaks. I'm just tussling with bathroom passes right now. Meaning we didn't have visual performing arts this week. We have that every other week. So, yeah. There did come a point where most of the class was done with their math test, and then my buddy, my pal, my ride or die Taylor, I had texted her last night to ask her what her and her team were doing for conferences, because again, I'm like, I haven't done an elementary conference in a while. They are 5th graders. I kind of want to, do something different than what other teachers on this campus were doing, because they are, they were in lower grades, like primary grades or whatever, and really just curious to see. So she shared some slides that they created for their students so that the conferences could be more student-led, which reminds me I need to send one more reminder email that I want parents to bring their students to the conference. So she shared that with me, and it was all geared towards her school, like in terms of the colors and some of the phrasing. So the other thing I did while they were taking their test was I just edited that slide presentation so that it fit my school, and then I gave that to the class to work on while we still had a handful of kids working on finishing their test. They were able to get it done pretty quickly. What I wanted to do was also have them finish setting a goal for their next iReady test, but we did not get to do that, and I was going to incorporate like a writing lesson with that, but we didn't get to do that. So maybe on Monday we'll get to it. But all in all, even though that math test took way longer than I thought and anticipated, and even though for a split second I was getting like annoyed because I was like, I'm already behind, I need this time, I'm thankful for it because I was able to get things done that I was gonna probably have to stay late to do. So surprisingly, I'm still here. I really want to get these bathroom passes done and made, or I should say cut, before I leave because they're already made, because the bathroom breaks are just out of control. So I just made these on Canva. I literally looked up bathroom pass, found these, and all I did was change the color to match my classroom. I think they were like pink and blue before. So I'm going to give the kids 2 bathroom passes a week, and that was at the suggestion of them. Surprisingly enough, just at the moment, this was probably a week ago or so, where I was thinking we're gonna have to do something about this bathroom, and I was really trying not to make it so that there was something like, oh, you get to go to the bathroom this many times a week. I was really just trying to let them live, let them and their bladders live, but it just was getting excessive. And so just as I was thinking I need to figure something out, a student came up to me and said, you know what you need to do? Because in 4th grade, we have bathroom passes and you can only go so many times, and if you went over that, then there was a consequence. So when he was telling me that, I was like, I'm already thinking that. And so I was gonna give them 3 passes. And then another student said, no, you should give us 2. And I said, well done, 2 passes. 2 passes it is. So they get 2 passes a week to use. Once they use the 2 passes and they need to go again, they can go. They just have to pull a citizenship concern slip for using time productively. Because like I said earlier today, if they're going to the bathroom at their designated break times, they should be okay. Again, of course, if they have a medical issue, I understand that's not the case, and those students don't have or will not be living by the same set of rules. So I want these cut so we can get that rolling next week. So I'm gonna cut these out, probably take stuff home because I need to make sure I'm planned for next week, and go home and eat some leftovers and do some more work. I'm not packed for tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm wearing to my aunt's wedding. I gotta get Wolfie to my brother's because he's gonna be spending the night there. Taylor is going to be house sitting and babysitting Luna Sky. So it's just like stuff I need to do that I really didn't have the brain space or time to be thinking about during the week. That all has to be accomplished this evening because we're leaving bright and early in the morning. So I couldn't even tell you about the rest of the week. I don't even remember. I think I was just in such like a mental state between, again, just, you know, being super busy with work and being tired of the state of the nation, and asking God, why couldn't I just find a boyfriend that works in a cubicle right around the corner? And being annoyed by that. I just was like not in the state. So I don't even remember what I did this week. I survived it. I know I shared some great books about Hispanic Heritage Month. One, I can show you that so that I feel like I'm offering something to you guys right now. One I had never heard of, but I thought it was really cute. Glad I bought it. It is this one. Whoa there. This one here, Mango, Abuela, and Me. Abuela moves in with the family but doesn't speak any English. The daughter doesn't speak much Spanish, and they get this parrot, and through the parrot they learn each other's language, and then the parrot becomes bilingual. And I also bought this one, Across the Bay. It's about a little boy who is Puerto Rican and is looking for his father. I was surprised to find that in that book he doesn't find his father. Like, that's his challenge or goal or the conflict of the story, but he doesn't actually find his father, which I was surprised by. But I'm kind of, in some ways, hold on, I liked it because I think it's important for kids to hear stories where not everything just works out the way the main character wants or has a quote-unquote happy ending. So I shared those as well as books I had before. I read Dreamers to them, Carmela Full of Wishes, and Turning Pages, which is a book about Sonia Sotomayor. Next week I will probably read books about just the start of fall, because that is what's going to occur next week, and then we'll get back to books about Hispanic figures in the country and around the world. So I'm gonna keep cutting these bathroom passes and I will check in with you. Maybe I'll continue it at home since this is just such a one and done kind of vlog, but you know, I want to document each week, and I also, you know, want to continue to be real, and this is just a real week for a teacher. I just was like, this was one of those weeks where I was really regretting having a job or having a profession that you have to be on when you're doing it. So, you know, when you're having bad days, if you're having a bad day and you work in an office, to some degree, you can kind of keep to yourself and not, you know, worry about how your mood is affecting others, but you can't really do that with teaching. Like, you have to be on. And I tried the best I could on that day, but I wasn't even enjoying myself, so I'm sure they were like, what is wrong with you? So it's been a week. It's Friday, it's the weekend. I'm gonna try and get the rest I can, and next week is a new week, right? All right, I'm all done cutting the bathroom passes to start passing out next week. It is now about 5:48. I'm getting ready to leave. It didn't take me that long. I was just on the phone. Here you are. I was on the phone and got distracted. So I'm just gonna pack up my things to go. I definitely need to take my math TE. We are doing chapter 9 next, which is going to be patterns and graphing, and my wonders TE, and maybe some grading, and that sounds like a lot because I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done. I am a little annoyed because there's some cleaning up that I want to do that I'm going to have to wait until Monday. I need to get this stuff off the counter. These are the markers for the whiteboards. I don't know why these are up here. And then that box back there that's been sitting there for a while, I need to address that, and I just didn't. But that is going to have to wait until Monday because I just don't have it in me to do it today. So I'm gonna close the vlog. Hopefully you guys don't mind that it was just a day, maybe a day and a snippet of another. I don't think I vlogged it all on Monday. I really don't know. And I'm not sure if what I vlogged I'll include because it wasn't really significant in any way. But all in all, as far as the week is concerned, I would probably say this was a rough week. I feel like this is a week of just like reality. Like, we've been in school now 6 weeks. I had a week this week where I was tired. Life was in the way. And it's almost like I feel like I'm on top of things, or I'm doing a pretty good job and managing the reacclimation to elementary school well, but I also feel like I have a lot of thoughts and things in progress. Like, there's a lot of ideas and things I want to put into place that are just kind of like pending or like looping, and I just can't find the time to fully flush out those things or those ideas because I have to focus on what needs to be accomplished for the next day, like the next direct day of teaching. So that is kind of frustrating, but I know it takes time. I need to be patient with myself. And yesterday I had to remind myself, like, I'm creating a lot of things now. Like, you know, by last year and years before that in middle school, I wasn't having to create study guides. I wasn't having to create certain things that I was using. I wasn't having to figure out what additional layer do I want to add on to this lesson because I already knew, because I had done it before. Whereas now I don't have any of that, so everything just takes a while. So I kind of told myself that this morning in terms of like, just, you know, being flexible with myself and not being too hard on myself. But definitely a rough week. Definitely a rough week. Still no regrets. Still enjoying where I work, still enjoying my class, but just a rough week in terms of like, it's the reality. You know, we're halfway through the first trimester. We are in the thick of it. So if you enjoyed seeing at least this one day and hearing a little bit of just like where I'm at and the reality of it all, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, I would love for you to do so. Please do. I enjoy responding to them, and I will respond to as many as I can. And as always, I hope that you guys are well and that you're hanging in there. And if you're not well, please be well, and I will see you guys next week in the next vlog. Until then, bye.